Unbreakable. The third, or technically it's like his fifth movie, but we're not counting the two that came out before Sixth Sense. One of them is like a low budget movie that's really hard to get, and the other one is like a weird kids movie about something. I don't know. We're not counting those. We're gonna count from Sixth Sense. The third real, movie made by M. Night Shyamalan, and I'm starting to see why people say that Shyamalan got really lucky with The Sixth Sense and that he's not that good. Even if I disagree. This movie is not that good. It's fine. I won't even say it's fine. It's good. It is a decent movie. It is a fun movie. It's a good premise. It's directed really well. I mean, Shyamalan really is just showing off directing this movie. The opening in the train with the kid, but kind of looking between the seats. That's just good directing. Like, he really is showing off while he directs this, and it is a fantastic looking movie. The actors are doing great job. Really, the whole cast is just doing great, but obviously Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson they are who they are for a reason. They're doing an incredible job with this movie, but it does kind of fall flat for me. I do like the comic book ideas and inspiration and, the little takes from it, but maybe it's just because we live in a world with, like, movies made from comic books. Like, it doesn't work for me now. I don't really know how to explain that. It didn't work. It was fun. It was fine. I do enjoy it, I do like it, but I don't think I'd ever watch it again. Like, if someone put this on or asked they wanted to watch it, I could see myself rewatching it. But I don't see myself personally ever going back and be like, you know what I really want to watch? Unbreakable. It's not going to happen, to be honest. But that's not really a bad thing. In a world where, every movie being released now, 4 to 5 times a year, we're getting an actual superhero movie, and then, when we're not getting a superhero movie, it's like a Disney remake or a sequel to something that came out 30 years ago. This is still 1,000% more interesting. At least this is an original idea, and it's a fun original idea. Again, it is taking from comics, but it's not like an adaptation. It is M. Night Shyamalan sharing his love and interest of a hobby, especially at the time that was a little bit more niche, and making a movie about that, but not reproducing that, if that makes sense. There are superpowers and stuff in this world, and that's where a lot of the fun scenes from the movie come. Like, Bruce Willis learning that is fun. Like, the train crash where he's the only one who survives and he's like basically unhurt is, kind of sets up that Shyamalan theme, I guess, of like weird shit happens and we figure it out later. I wouldn't really call that a twist that he has superpowers. I feel like it's pretty obvious what the movie's doing from the beginning, but like the worst person is going to call this the obvious Shyamalan twist, so whatever. But the little things after that are really exciting. Like, they're fun things to see. Like, him working out with his kid, where his kid just like keeps adding more and more weight, and it's like a ton of weight. He puts like all of the weight that they have available and then some on, and he's just benching it with no problem. I think that's funny, because it's like, you were like 40 years old. You want your whole life without noticing that, like, you don't get sick or injured or anything. And he didn't, because he almost drowned, and like, that's the thing that hurts him. Like, I feel like not being able to breathe underwater isn't exactly a sign of, like, you're not indestructible. I think it's still pretty obvious that you're indestructible, but it's a fun premise, and it is an entertaining watch. Like, seeing him learn that he has superpowers, seeing Samuel L. Jackson kind of like chase him down, despite having like glass bones or something. That's entertaining. That is fun. And honestly, when Samuel L. Jackson kind of hurts himself, like falls down the stairs, chasing someone, that's pretty funny. But in comparison to Shyamalan's other movies, I think that's really where it kind of hits a little less for me. I'm watching his movies in order of release, trying to get a feel for his path as a director. I think it's a little bit more interesting to do that way, especially with someone like Shyamalan, who started out, again, we're going to go from Sixth Sense at a peak that I don't think most directors hit. That is such an incredible movie that most other people aren't even... Most major directors aren't going to make a movie as good as The Sixth Sense. So to start that high, and then by like the middle of his career, people were just like, yeah, this guy's terrible, he can't make a movie. The Sixth Sense was he just kind of stumbled into that. That was an accident. You know, he fluked his way into making a really good movie, but he's not going to do it again. To see people kind of turn back around with movies like Split, he is actually really good. I think it's interesting to kind of watch that dynamic and see what people might have been thinking when they say these things, because as of right now, I don't actually think he's a bad director. 3 movies in, he has not missed once. Even, I do think this is the worst one yet, but like, what does that mean when your other 2 movies are The Sixth Sense and Signs, right? Like, yeah, this is worse than those, but one is one of the greatest movies ever made, and Signs is fine, I guess. I wouldn't say Signs is like drastically better than this. I think I like Signs a little bit more, just from the emotional perspective. That's just a little bit more interesting to me. But again, I think a lot of that really has to do with just the state of cinema now, where a comic book themed movie just isn't super unique anymore. I think when this came out, that this might have been better. Like, I might have enjoyed this more if I watched it around release time, because then it's like, oh, well, there aren't really comic book movies to compare it to. You know, I can't just go see a billion comic book movies whenever I want. So I think it would have been a little bit more interesting then. Whereas now, it's really hard to find, like, you know, a thoughtful, emotional movie anymore. That's sad to say, but they are just harder to find. They are just less made. Signs just hits a little bit more for me, especially being like that sci-fi movie that also has, you know, deeper themes and stuff. It just, that hits a little bit more. It's a little bit more interesting, again, just compared to the modern movie landscape. I've said that like 3 times now. Yes, I recognize that, like, I got a fucking Superman back here. I understand. I am part of the problem when it comes to the constant release of superhero movies and generic action movies and stuff. I know that I am also one of the people who just watches those, but they're fun. Like, they are a lot of fun. They do have a place in movies. Like, I don't want to see them go away completely. But that also, you know, doesn't mean it's the only thing I want to watch, right? Like, I love comics. I have since I was a small child, and I still do. I read them not nearly as much as I'd like to, because they're very expensive sometimes to really keep up with reading, but I read them as often as I can. I do read a ton of manga, there's just comics, but not superheroes, so like, I do still read a lot of comics. I do really love the art of comics. It's fun, and it's really nice to see these superhero movies. I love that I get to see these characters that I love brought to life on screen. It is a lot of fun. But it's also not the only thing I want to see. I do want to see more movies that are just an original idea. Just like someone making art. Like, that's also a lot of fun. And that's what I want to see more of. And that's kind of the point of this, honestly, is that, like, it's an excuse to watch more movies. You know, kind of combining hobbies here. I get to watch more movies. And by watching more movies, I can't just watch superheroes all day, because as easy as they are to watch and as bingeable as they really are, which I think is part of why they're not very good anymore, as bingeable as they are, I want to see other things, and it forces me to kind of make the time to do that. And that's good. That's what I want to see. I want to see more movies like this. I want to see more Signs. I want to see more, like, modern movies being made like that. Sinners looks amazing. I can't wait to go watch it. Somewhat recently, I went to see One of Those Days. Fantastic comedy. Just an original idea. Just a fun movie. Do more like that. Back to the main point here, I guess, now that tangent's over. This is a fine movie. This is a good movie, I would say. It does hit a little less in the modern landscape. If you haven't seen it before, I do think it is a little less intriguing now because of the multiple thousands of superhero movies coming out every other day, but realistically, it's a good movie. Again, Shyamalan is doing incredible work with the directing. You can tell there's a lot of passion behind this, and it's absolutely worth a watch. It's absolutely worth going, seeing this movie. Like always, I bought this on 4K. The 4K version is amazing. Absolutely get the 4K version. It looks gorgeous, and this format is like the best. So buy this one. If you're going to buy it, buy this one. I think this is on streaming. I'm not really sure. It was really hard to find a lot of his stuff on streaming when I was looking to buy them. They're just not really streaming for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like different ownerships or whatever. I don't know. But a lot of it wasn't really streaming. I believe this one was one of the ones that was available streaming like pretty accessibly. With that being said, thanks for watching. Very good movie. Go watch it. But not his best. The other two are better. I can see where people are like, I can see where he's on a decline in terms of storytelling, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. But it's still good. Like, this is still a step above a lot of other movies.